Hey everybody, welcome to your sugar detox, 21-day sugar detox. That is what we are doing in this group. This group is a support group for those of you wanting to try to cut sugar and cut down on your sugar cravings if you have issues with sugar. So a lot of you have already been in this group for a while. We started the first round of this detox on January 2nd. So some of you are pros at this point at reducing sugar and avoiding sugar. A lot of you are new though, so we added a lot of new people. I didn't want to start a brand new group. It's too much to keep up with. And the first round of people largely wanted to continue on to stay in the group and keep getting tips and things like that. So we're going to keep it in the same group. And I've thought about different ways to make that work. So what we're going to do is everyone is kind of on different levels here, and that's okay. The information is good for everybody, so all of the educational posts on sugar are going to be good for all of you. If you're new, so some things that you need to do right now. So in preparation to start Monday, and please don't let it overwhelm you. Don't feel like this is going to be extremely difficult. This whole process for 21 days is going to be an educational experience, okay? So I don't do behavior modification. I don't do let's throw this person that wants to lose 50 pounds into CrossFit and a restrictive diet, okay? So that's not how I like to handle these kinds of things. I like to look at, first of all, your thoughts and beliefs about sugar, about the way that you eat, about your nutrition. So that's what we're going to do. That's the whole purpose of this, is to educate you on sugar first and foremost, because it is our main problem in this country as far as people having excess weight and being obese. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at education. So don't let it overwhelm you. Don't feel like you have to be perfect and never mess up. We all mess up. So, and it's difficult. People are busy. And that's one thing that I want to speak to a lot. A lot of people say, well, oh, I don't have time to do food prep, or I don't have time to do this, and I just have to do what's easy and what's fast. So I don't accept that. And you need to get that out of your head. That's an excuse, because I'm busy too. So when someone says, I'm too busy to exercise, I'm too busy to eat right, that's BS. You make time for the things that are important to you, and your health should be important to you. So I'm going to call BS on that you don't have time, that you're too busy. I'm too busy too, if we're going to talk about being busy. I'm doing this. I'm getting ready to leave to go speak at a leadership thing in just a little bit, but I'm taking the time to do this because it's my passion. I like to educate people. A lot of people are going to make fun of you because you quit drinking your Dr. Peppers and you don't eat a piece of cake for 21 days or something like that. That's okay. They can kiss it because you care about your health and you're doing something to improve your health, and it's going to matter down the road, and it's going to matter those of you that have kids. You're setting an example for them later on. So that being said, if you are new, and if you're just catching the replay of this, it's Saturday. Again, we're all busy. Things are going on Saturdays. This video will be up so you can go back and watch it later. If you're new, in the group, you need to go into the files section and the photos section. That's going to take some time, so do it when you have a little bit of downtime this weekend. Definitely do it all before you go to the grocery store. You need to go to the grocery store before Monday. That's going to be a requirement. And what you're going to need to do is go in the files section and look at... my husband just got on in the next room and totally distracted me. Can you chill out over there? At least I know he's paying attention. So go in the file section, and there are some files in there. There is a yes and no food list, okay? That's going to be good for everyone. The one that's in there that was previously in there, everyone else has already seen. So go look at that. It lists your yes foods and your no foods. So that's how I operate. I don't do plans and programs. I don't do meal plans for people. I'm not a person that needs a meal plan. I prefer to look at real food. Let's eat real food, okay? Did God make this? Is this a real food? Is it natural? Yes. Okay, it's good. Is it made by God or is it made by man? Is it natural? No? Okay, it's a no food. That's how I like to operate. Now, we're not going to be as strict as that for this detox. you're going to be able to go in the grocery store and read food labels, and we're going to ease you into it. You're going to be able to eat some processed foods, but you're going to have to be careful with what you eat. You're going to have to look at the label, and the most important thing I want you to look at is sugar. Does it have sugar? If it's something you feel like will help you make a better choice, and it's got less than 3 or 4 grams of sugar, and you feel like it's something that you need, or that can be helpful to you, or something you want to switch your kids to while you're doing this, then by all means go with that, because like I said, we're easing into it. If you already did the 21 days, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. So if you're on level 2, that's not allowed. You'll be able to ease back into that later. So in the files section, the yes and no food list. Also in the files section, there is a document called sugar synonyms. I think it's abbreviated sugar sins or something like that. That's funny. Should be SINS. Sugar synonyms. So that's going to give you the list of all the different forms of sugar, both natural and artificial, that you will find on labels. Not just things such as lactose, fructose, sucrose, glucose, but other things too. Big, long chemical names that we have no clue that they are synthetic sugars, okay? And you need to see those. It is a list. It's a comprehensive list. It's not incredibly long, but you need to have those words, you know, somewhere in your subconscious when you're looking at food labels. And where you're going to find those is not going to be on the nutritional label. It's going to be at the bottom, really small, under ingredients, where the ingredients are listed. So those big, long chemical words, when you see one of those, that's a sugar. So go in the file section and find the sugar synonyms and just print it out, stick it in your purse. So when you go to the grocery store, you can double check. So that's in the file section. There's some other things in the file section. If you feel like you need to follow a meal plan, I'm not a huge fan of the meal plan from Diane Sanfilippo's book. The information in that book is awesome, and I largely share a lot of her information, and there's a lot of stuff on my own that I share. There's a lot of research and things that I've dug up that I've shared. Every single day will be an educational post on sugar. Every single day. Some of them, some of you have already seen. If you're new, you haven't seen them yet, it's really good information. If it's something you have already seen, please don't scroll past it and ignore it. Read it again, because this is what we're talking about. This is where behavior modification versus belief change comes into play. So when that post about autoimmune conditions, or that post about diabetes or insulin and things like that pop up and you already saw it, read it again. They're short posts, they're short enough. So just take a couple minutes to read through it and put it in your brain, okay? We're trying to change how you guys look at food and sugar, and putting this information in front of yourself on a regular basis is going to help it go from your head to your heart. So it's going to be part of who you are. It's going to be easier when you go to the grocery store, when you're shopping for food, to walk right past Little Debbie and all of the breads. It's easier to walk past that stuff and not crave it when you understand what it's doing in your body, okay? Now, I'm not saying I don't ever eat bread or I don't ever eat a cookie or something sweet. I absolutely do, full disclosure. But I don't buy those things and keep them stocked in our house on a regular basis. I try to restrict how much my kids have, and I don't believe in cheat days. I don't believe in reward yourself with poor food. I don't believe in those things, but I do believe in moderation, and that every now and then things like that are okay. And that's what I'm trying to instill in you guys is just that attitude of, is this real food? Is this fuel for my body? Is it building my body? Is it healing my body? Or is it harming me and causing disease and dysfunction years down the road? All the chronic diseases, every single one of the chronic diseases are completely preventable, reversible, curable with nothing but food and lifestyle, period. You don't need a pill, you don't need a shot, an injection. The chronic health diseases that we give ourselves are completely preventable and curable. So just keep those things in mind. Down the road, do you want to be extremely obese and miserable and out of breath and in pain and not be able to get on the floor with your grandkids? No, nobody wants that. So this is what we're doing now. You need to implement these changes now in order to enjoy those things down the road. Okay, so I have not made it very far down my notes at all. So go in the files section, print that stuff out. You can look through the photos. There's lots of recipes. When you click on photos, if you'll click on albums, things will be broken down into meals, the meal recipes, snacks, sides, desserts, and things like that. Okay, so if you click on photos, be sure to click on albums so you can get those things broken down for you if you're looking for something specific. Okay, so what you need to do this weekend, other than print those things out, look at those things in the files and photos, you need to remove things from your house. You need to go in your refrigerator right now. You need to go in your pantry right now. If you have kids, okay, we understand that this is going to be a little bit difficult if you have kids. You need to move some stuff around. If there is, like in my pantry, for example, there's the basket of crap is what I call it. It's a basket. It has my kids' snacks for lunch in it. There are things I do allow them to have. I look at the sugar content. I go as low as I can on the sugar on the things that I allow them to have that are processed and that have added sugars and, sugars in them. So in that basket, that's for my kids. So for sure, and I'm not saying I don't ever eat one of those because that happens, but for this 21 days or however long you're doing this for, or from now on, if you will separate foods, for what they're for. If this is for the kids' lunches, they go up here on this shelf in this basket. Or if it's this, for whatever or for whoever, it goes on this shelf in the fridge. If you're the only person in your house doing this, you need your own shelf in the fridge and you need your own shelf in the pantry. That's just for you, and you need to eat off of those shelves, okay? For this amount of time. This is not lifelong. What we're doing here, though, is creating a mindset that's going to help you for the rest of your life in dealing with nutrition and sugar. So you need to do those things now. You know what those things are. If it comes in a bag or a box or a can, it doesn't need to be on your shelf for 21 days. That's 3 weeks. That's not a long time. Anybody can do this for 3 weeks. If you've already gone through this and you felt like it was going to be extremely difficult, I need you to help these people that are new. I need you to comment and tell them maybe how anxious you were about trying it and how you feel about it now. And why are you doing it again, right? So be sure and build people up in our group. When people ask questions, I'm one person. I will answer every single question as soon as I see the notifications. But you guys that have done it already, help me out and help these people out because we want to spread this as far as possible. Okay, so remove the sweets, okay? The snack cakes and, I don't know, donuts, muffins, what else? Fruit. Okay, fruit. For these 21 days, we're cutting fruit. The only fruits that you're allowed to have are green apples and green or green tipped bananas. And you're going to get more education on that throughout these 21 days. But if you've got, Honeycrisp apples and you've got strawberries and blueberries and blackberries, those are all amazing things and they have a purpose and they have a place in your nutrition, but not while you're detoxing from sugar, okay? Because we want the body to rid itself of all the stored sugar that it has. So if you're eating a handful of blueberries, I'm not saying that's not good for you. It's amazing for you because they're a superfood. But while you're detoxing from sugar, if you're going to eat a handful of blueberries and eat a donut, that you're defeating the purpose, okay? So we want to remove these things for now, just for a short period of time. You can have green apples and you can have green tip bananas. That has to do with the sugars and the types of sugars that are in those fruits. And the green in the banana, being the starch, hasn't turned to sugar yet. So there's going to be another post. I don't remember when I have it scheduled, but there'll be an educational post on why green bananas, because some people wonder, well, why a green banana? Why not a yellow banana? And it has to do with the ripening process and what's in the banana at that time. So, sodas. I want to know if you drink soda at all. I want to know that. You can post it on this video. You can post it in the group. You can private message me. We can set up a phone consult. Sugars have to go, and you're not implementing those back, okay? You need to get that in your brain. I'm not your boss. I'm not telling you what to do, but you paid money for this, and that's the reason you paid money, was to give it value for you, so you will follow through with it. I'm not getting rich off of a fee to lead people through this, but what we are doing is making it valuable to you. When you spend your hard-earned money on something, it means more to you. So be sure that you have that mindset of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to follow through with this. If you slip up, that's okay. Let me know when you slip up. Let's talk about it. And we'll talk about why, and we'll talk about how to avoid it in the future. So sodas, they've got to go. If your kids are drinking sodas, they got to go. So just be aware that if you have sodas in your house right now, they need to be removed from your home if you have an issue with sodas. You might have a headache the first day or so, and you might feel a little sluggish and tired. There might be some digestive issues for a day or so. That's your body detoxing, okay? If you think about a drug addict when they detox from heroin, basically the same thing. Cocaine, basically the same thing. No, I'm not going to act like someone strung out on cocaine is the same as someone with a sugar addiction, but the pathways in the brain are exactly the same, okay? The same reward center in the brain gets rewarded when you do an illicit drug as when you eat sugar. It's the same thing. Now, there is a purpose behind that. There is a physiological, biological purpose. God created sugar, and it does have a function and purpose in the body, but not the way that we use it. We're abusing it. Absolutely, all day long in all of our foods. Okay. I talk way too much. Okay, so the grocery store, you need to go now. You need to go this weekend as soon as you have time. Just surface level, stay on the outside of the grocery store. We all know that, right? You can have full fat dairy, so I'm not asking you to cut dairy, unless you have an issue. If you know you have an allergy, don't drink milk and don't eat cheese. That's going to make this more difficult for you. So you can have full fat dairy if you don't have issues with it, or if you're not aware if you have issues with it. Some people aren't aware. Doing this is going to give you an awareness if you have a food sensitivity, because the second you add it back, you're going to know. Within 48 hours or so, 2 to 3 days, something like that, you should know if you have a food sensitivity or allergy. So go to the grocery store, and you're going to be focusing on proteins, and you're going to be focusing on fats. Good fats. Fat is good for you. Okay? So get that out of your head too, that if you eat fat, you're going to be fat. I probably eat slightly more fat than I do protein. Okay? So fat is good for you. You need fat to produce and balance hormones. You need fat for lots of functions in the body. So fat is a good thing. Don't be afraid of fat. If you can get organic grass-fed butter, I love butter. I don't put it on everything. And everything in moderation, but fat is good for you. It just made me think of a study that was done in the 50s, I think, by Ansel Keys that talks about fat in the diet. And he studied, it's called the 7 Countries Study. You can look that up. And it's called the 7 Countries Study because he left out the countries that didn't show the results he wanted to prove. So that should tell you something. Our entire American diet is based off of that study. So back when everything was fat-free and low-fat, and you can see packages with that on it today, and we said, oh, fat causes heart disease, it causes CVD, you're going to have a stroke and a heart attack. It's kind of bunk. So anyway, I've got a whole presentation on that, but I don't have time to do that right now. So grocery store now. There are shopping lists in the file section, and that yes and no food list, you can live on that yes and no food list for 3 weeks. Trust me, absolutely. Food prep. Okay, so what I mean by food prep is not what you see all the fancy CrossFit people doing, and I'm not making fun of CrossFit, I just say CrossFit because it's a culture. So what you see people posting with their little containers with, they've got a chicken breast in there, and they've got their asparagus, and they've got their little tiny portion of whatever in there, and it's the exact same thing, and they've got it like set out for 14 days, and it's obsessive, and it takes them 3 days to get that done. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about take 1 day a week. For us, it's Sunday. When we get back from church, if we need to go to the grocery store again on Sunday, we'll go again. But when we get back from church, what we do is my husband fires the pit up and starts cooking, sausages and deer meats and bacon wrapped all kinds of things. And sorry, I'm having things pop up on my phone. It's distracting to me. ADD. So we'll fire up the pit and we'll cook lots of meats. I'll get lots of vegetables prepped and ready. I'll eat a lot of raw vegetables, so I'll have tons of carrots peeled, grated, chopped, onions chopped, all kinds of things like that. Cucumbers, any vegetables that you like, any vegetables at all that you like, have those in your house and have them cut up, have them cooked in containers. That way when you are hungry or you want something or you're fixing a meal, you just go by the fridge and you pull it out and it's there, it's ready to go. So get that prepped and ready. And like I said, you can have full fat dairy. Don't get any low fat crap. That's garbage. You can have full fat dairy. You can have 100% whole fat milk. You can have cheese made with whole milk. But what I don't want you to do is overdo it on that. Like, don't drink milk with every meal that you eat. And it has lactose. It does have sugar in it. It has a form of sugar. And if you're going stricter, then you would avoid that. If you're autoimmune, or if you have allergies or food sensitivity, even people that have respiratory issues, because milk creates a lot of mucus in the body, so you would want to cut back or cut that out. So it's an option. I can take or leave milk. I don't ever drink milk. And to me, now this is my opinion, well, this part isn't an opinion. We're the only mammals that after you wean from breastfeeding, we drink milk from another animal, from another mammal. So, and everybody's different. Like, some of us were raised on baby milkshakes, on formula, and that's not a judgment thing. When you don't know better, you can't do better. So if you were raised on formula and, you were given Cokes and you eat donuts and you eat, fast food, and we sit in front of the TV with food in our laps all the time, then this is going to be a little bit more difficult for you. But as far as the milk thing, in my opinion, once you're weaned from breast milk, there's no reason to have milk. We're the only mammals that continue to drink milk afterwards. So the whole campaign for the milk industry of got milk and you need milk for your bones, you don't need milk for your bones. If you're eating real food, you don't need milk, and neither do your kids. It's a supplement type of thing. It's one of those things where we don't eat enough real food and we don't get what we need, so we can pump ourselves full of milk and fat and lots and lots of calories and excess lactose, and it creates, allergies and mucus production and all that. So, but you can have full fat milk. If you can get organic, which you can get organic basically anywhere, get organic and get whole milk if you're going to drink milk. If you can get raw milk, that's better. If you can get raw milk, I'm not going to the trouble of looking for raw milk. I don't drink it, and we don't consume a whole lot of it. My husband drinks more of it than any of us in our house, so just organic milk, okay? And try to limit your intake. Eat what you like for these 21 days. Don't stress yourself out going, I have to eat all this weird stuff. I don't know what this vegetable is. This recipe is strange. A lot of the recipes in Diane Sanfilippo's book are kind of out there for some people and kind of weird. Don't eat it if it looks weird to you or if you don't like it. Just go simple. Be as simple as possible. I'm all about making this easy. So eat what you like. Don't be afraid to eat the same things for the whole week. Like, if you cook a large, dish of whatever, there's all kinds of soups. There are lots of recipes that we've shared in there outside of her book. You can also go on any kind of paleo website and find recipes. Just make sure there's no fruits included in those recipes and there's no sugar. But other than that, paleo recipes are great. Also try new things. So while there are some recipes that I'm absolutely not going to make out of that book, there are some things that I've made out of there that we've never eaten that were really, really good, including some of the snacks. Don't put the expectation on the ice cream recipe that it's going to taste like ice cream, but it's really good. It's definitely doable. And the chocolate mousse, Tommy didn't like that, but I did. It had avocado and coconut oil and stuff like that in it, and unsweetened cocoa powder. I thought it was really interesting. I don't eat ice cream or pudding though, so I had zero expectations of it. And when I ate it, I really liked it. So try some of the recipes. And we've been sharing in this group, so a lot of people will share their recipes and take pictures and, say if they liked it or not, or, what could be done differently to make it better. So just be watching for all the notifications. Okay, I told you about paleo, told you about green apples and bananas. So level 2 people, if you've already done the level 1 and you're wanting to go a little bit further, the only difference with level 2 is going to be your whole grains and legumes. So level 1, you're able to eat whole grains. If you go to the yes and no food list, you're going to see that. It's very simple and laid out for you. I'm not going to list every single food because I'm not going to put any stipulations on, in your mind what you can have and not have. But look at that list. Level 2, you're cutting out whole grains and you're cutting out legumes, which is going to be easy for us because for the first 21 days, we didn't have them. I cut out all of the, I rarely eat bread anyway, just on occasion. but cut out the whole grains and legumes for level 2. So your black beans that you were able to eat, the brown rice, barley, rye, those kinds of things that were allowed for level 1. If you're going level 2, just cut those things out. And that's not difficult. You've already done it once, so let's just go a little bit further this time, and you're going to see even more results. You're going to feel even better. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to say is, if you guys don't mind, if you will go to my personal page and share the post. It has the guy with the big gut, and it shows all the issues that, excess sugar creates. If you guys will go to my page and share that post, some of you have already, I appreciate that. Go to my page and share that post, and just let people know that you're doing this, because you might pull in a friend or something, family member, that you're able to help with this. My goal is to reach as many people as possible through this and educate and empower them in their health, okay? And help them understand that excess weight is a symptom, okay? So I worked with bariatric patients. I had them referred to me by a bariatric surgeon for 2 years, and that diagnosis of obesity and morbid obese, that is a lie. Obesity and being overweight is not a disease, okay? It is not a disease. You can choose to believe that and agree with my opinion, or you can choose to go with people who are marketing weight loss surgeries and injections and pills for people who have some issues they need to get to the bottom of. So excess weight is a symptom. It's a check engine light. It means something else is happening in the body or the mind, because there's a mind-body connection. We know that. There's something else that is happening that is causing your body to hold on to weight. That is either causing you to emotional eat or overeat, or that is causing your body to hold on to excess fat for survival mode. And that doesn't necessarily mean starvation when people restrict calories and their body holds on to weight. It can be something deep, like stress, major stress and abuse. The body is holding on to that fat as a protective layer, okay? And that's how, biologically, that's how our bodies were designed by God. Times of war, times of famine, seasons for food, there is a purpose behind all of these things, and they're set up for protection mechanisms for our body. So you need to understand that there's a lot of really deep reasons why people are overweight. And so I would challenge you to, when you see someone who is overweight, don't judge them. You don't want to be judged for your weight either. I see people that are overweight and obese in an entirely different light than I did years ago. Completely different now that I have educated myself, now that I have worked with obese and morbidly obese people. But when you wear that as a banner over your health, whether it's an extra 10 pounds or you need to lose 300 pounds, okay? People wear that as a banner over their life. I'm overweight, I can't do these things. And then you're stuck in this, what they call the death spiral, which is an amazing term, because when you have excess fat on your body and it creates pressure on your joints, and your joints start to break down, and you've got arthritis and you've got pain all the time, and then you can't exercise and you can't have as high of an activity level, so your lung capacity decreases and your heart strength decreases, and then we've got lung issues, and we've got COPD, and we've got chronic issues and chronic pain and fibromyalgia. It's a death spiral. So I'm just looking at a way to throw a wrench in the system for you guys, and that's what you need to do too. And there are tons of people out there who are just looking for the next thing, okay? They're looking for, there's this new product, there's this new system, and I would challenge you to understand, to empower yourself, educate yourself, and understand that there is nothing new, okay? Everything has been created. Everything has already been thought of and said, okay? We are not special. We are not smarter than anyone that came before us and came up with anything, okay? Your Creator made your body to function properly, perfectly, and to heal itself, period. Every single one of you. My body, your body, everyone around you. So if our bodies are created for perfect function and healing, they're capable of doing everything on their own. We don't need an outside product. We don't need the new fancy diet We don't need the injections. We don't need the surgery. We don't need the colorful drink for energy. We don't need any of these things. I don't care what label you put on it. I don't care what metabolic process words you put on it and market it as this new awesome thing. Your body was already designed to function properly. When we're poisoning it, when we are putting crap in it, when we are not eating real food, real fuel, then that's where our problems begin. So if you look at where the problem began and you address the cause, the reason why we're holding on to excess weight, it's a chain reaction. You fix the problem, okay? And it doesn't matter how far gone you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you will throw a wrench in that system right now and you will do something different, you're going to change your health. You're going to improve your health and you're going to live a better life. You're going to feel better. So I just challenge you to stop looking in the wrong places for weight management, because weight management is not what we're after here, okay? We're not after behavior modification. We're not after weight loss. Weight loss is a symptom of a healthy life. Weight management, healthy balance. The body is perfectly capable of balancing itself. Homeostasis, that involves every system of your body, okay? Your body is a machine that you will never fully understand and that you will never, ever, ever be able to fully control. Your body is created to function on its own. If you give it what it needs and you keep the crap out, the toxins and the crap food, it's going to function at a more optimal level. So I talked a really long time. I have no clue how long I talked, but I hope that that was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask on here or you can post it in the group. I'm thinking about possibly saving this and sharing it publicly. Maybe we can share this to get people on board with us too. So if you don't mind, just share with other people and let them know what you're doing and try to get this education out to some more people. So you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Ask any questions that you have in the group, and I will address those as soon as I can, and talk to you soon. Bye.